Alex on Twitter has a piece about the Republican field, and I think that the headline is, although I quibble with some of his down ballot choices, the headline is Alex seems more bullish on Marco Rubio than on J.D. Vance for being the nominee. Right? That's about who's going to be the nominee. It's not about strongest in the general. Is that correct?
I gave them both 4 stars, but I think
Yeah.
Rubio is
But
seen
is
now
but is
as
it ranking for who's going to be the nominee or who would be the strongest general election candidate?
nominee.
Nominee. All right. So you make them equal. And before you get into why you like Rubio so much, and it's really a Cuban on Cuban love letter, to be honest. But um, uh, if Trump endorses Vance, it becomes moot, correct?
If there's one voter that matters more than
Yeah.
all the others, he's on
So
Pennsylvania
so
Avenue.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So you're being higher on Rubio presumes Trump stays neutral.
Presuming Trump lets this run out and they fight it out on stage.
Yeah. All right. Tell us why you're so high on Rubio, please.
Well, I think Rubio has taken the mythic journey. I think he's the guy who was humbled, humiliated in 2016. He used to be the wonder boy, the comet, the future of the party. And then he was destroyed. But he didn't vanish. He disappeared into the wilderness and he came back uh, to to become the Secretary of State, to be Trump's foreign policy hawk. And he's not talking and tweeting about things. He's actually in the fight and he's serious. I think one of the hardest things in politics is to mature, to grow up. And Rubio, I think, has. He used to be a candidate who reinvented himself every few months, looking for what's popular and public approval. I think those days are behind him now. So I think that kind of toughness combined with his economic optimism, we're Americans, we can do anything. He's got the gift of gab. I think that guy could absolutely, if there was one thought about Rubio, I think he's turned his scars into armor. And that makes him strong enough to be the next generation advocate for Trump.
Amy, are you as high on Rubio as Alex is?
I am. And, John and I reported in the book that Donald Trump really kind of respects him, I think, a little more, like wanted him for the role of Secretary of State, thought that it was a bigger role, obviously, than Vice President. I think it sets him up really well.
John?
I mean, I think Donald Trump likes two cats fighting in a bag. And so he's going to keep this Vance Rubio thing going as long as he can. I think what Alex said about Rubio is accurate. Something I would add, and what Amy also said is accurate. The thing that I would add about Rubio is, and I'm sure there are people on the left that would disagree with me, but he's just not. I think he's just not as detestable to like the center left as a lot of the other people in Trump world are, and I think that that's something that is helpful, potentially in a competitive race, certainly in a general election. If Donald Trump endorses J.D. Vance, all bets are off, as Alex said. But I don't know. I mean, the longer he goes without endorsing J.D. Vance, the more opening there is. I remember I asked Jay Carney, who was the White House press secretary for Barack Obama in 2014, whether Obama was going to support Joe Biden for president. And Jay gave me the runaround. He refused to answer the question. And at that moment, I concluded that that Hillary Clinton was probably going to be the Democratic nominee, because Barack Obama told the country twice that Joe Biden was the next best person to be president and was not immediately willing to get behind him. Right. I think, the case with Vance should be the same. I mean, Trump, with any normal political rules, would at least not leave such an open door. And so it'll be
And
interesting to watch.